In this part, we want to create another logo motion with the tools we learned. You learned how to create this text in the previous session. We want to make this logo motion. Well, at first, press this key to display these guidelines or select the title action save option from this section. We want to set exactly the middle of the page. Press F2 until no layers are selected. Select the pen tool, set the fill color to none, and select the color for the stroke, for example white. Click exactly in the middle of the page. Hold Shift to draw a straight line. If the stroke is too big, I reduce it and set it to 5. Now I want to draw this line in a circular path. Which effect did we use? The repeater effect. We can choose this effect from here or from the top. With this effect, we can have multiple copies of a layer. First, we specify its number from the repeater section. Now it is on 3. I increase its number. For example, I put it on 25. Now open the transform repeater. In the position section, this number is 100. Set it to 0 so that all the copies are gathered in the middle. We use the rotate tool and rotate the lines in this way. The lines are very close together. You can increase the line space by using the anchor point option. Set the anchor point in the middle. Now we have to move these lines up and place them around the text. Do it with the up key on the keyboard. Hit S and scale it a little. We can also make the text a little smaller so that it doesn't go out of the frame. Select all these layers and put it in the pre-composition. Choose a name for the pre-composition. Press S and make it a little smaller. I also make the line layer a little smaller. Now it's time to animate the lines. You can use the trim path effect. Open the contents and select the trim path effect from the Add section. Open the trim path and move the CTI and select the place where you want to animate to start and make a keyframe for end and set it to 0. Move the CTI and set the end to 100. You can increase the interval of the keyframes a little to have a more beautiful animation. Select all the keyframes and press F9 to make them easy ease. Now I want to turn this around. You can use rotation. I move the CTI, hit R here, and I create a keyframe. Move the CTI, here for example. I enter 1 for 1 round. Select these keyframes and press F9. We can reduce the rotation angle. Press U to see the rest of the keyframes. Move the keyframes to create the desired animation. I want the circle to appear and spin around after this animation is finished. We can use the ellipse tool. No layers should be selected. Press F2 to deselect all layers. I draw a circle like this. I also use Shift to draw a complete circle. With space, we can move the circle and place it exactly around the text. Place the circle in the middle of the page with Transform tool. The Center in View option places it in the middle of the page, and Center Anchor Point makes its anchor point in the middle of the circle. You can also increase its stroke if you wish. For example, I put it on 20. We can also give trim path effect to this circle. After this animation is finished, I give this layer a trim path effect. I open the trim path, set the end value to 0, and create a keyframe. Move the CTI and set the end value to 100. Create a keyframe for start as well. Move the CTI and set its value to 100. With this technique, you can create different animations. It depends on your creativity. If the animation speed is slow, you can increase the speed by moving the keyframes. You can also round these corners of the circle. In the stroke section, you can set the line cap to round cap. We can move the start keyframe to increase the length of this path. I select all keyframes and press F9. Now I get a duplicate of this layer. Press Ctrl D. Press R and rotate the circle and place it exactly in front of this one. You can adjust the amount of rotation of this circle, like this. You can duplicate this layer again and bring it down a little. Hit S and make it a little smaller. Hit U to see the keyframes. We can move the keyframes to adjust the timing of the circle. I move the start keyframes a little to make the line smaller. And move the keyframes and adjust its timing. You can get another duplicate from this layer. Hit U. Hit R and rotate this line and place it exactly in front of this one. Now it is hitting the text, so we can make the text a little smaller. We have made such an animation so far. We can take a duplicate of this layer again and hit S and make it a little bigger. You can also reduce the stroke of this layer. Set it to 10. I also set this layer to 10. Set the stroke of the last layer to 5. I increase the stroke a little. For example, set this to 10 and those two to 15. You can also move the last layer. Press U and move the keyframes. Adjust keyframes like the video. You can duplicate this layer again and rotate it a little with R and place it in front of it. We made this animation, so it all depends on your creativity. You can use the same sound effect and render it. Thanks for watching.